Good evening, hello and welcome to the news today, your primetime destination news, newsmakers, talking points. Thursday night, Modi versus India in Parliament and outside. Has the Prime Minister set the terms for the 2024 duel? We'll be talking on that on the news today. Also, cry for Manipur. We'll have more ground zero reports for you on the news today. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. Prime Minister Modi counters opposition's India alliance with Quit India jibe, says opposition renaming itself will not erase past misdeeds. Rahul Gandhi hits back, asks why is the Prime Minister not speaking on Manipur instead. Supreme Court allows Enforcement Directorate Director S.K. Mishra's tenure to continue till September 15. Top court says decision taken only in national interest, but no further extensions to be allowed. A big setback to Arvind Kejriwal's ordinance fight against the centre. Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP makes it clear they will back the Modi government on the Delhi Services Bill. YSRCP also to stand with the Modi government on the no trust vote. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah holds a meeting of all his MLAs to quell dissent over lack of funds. Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar had said implementation of freebies means there won't be funds left for development. Udupi College row escalates. BJP hits the street in protest demanding a CBI probe into alleged filming of girls in college bathroom. NCW member Khushbu Sundar meets victim, says no communal angle so far. Allahabad High Court extends stay on ASI survey at Gyanvapi Mosque Complex. Stay on survey until court verdict on the 3rd of August. UFO whistleblower gives evidence to US Congress saying that the United States government is holding alien spacecraft. Former intelligence officer also claims non-human biologics found. And Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi moved out of prison into house arrest. Suu Kyi is serving a 33-year prison sentence after being ousted in the 2021 military coup. But the story that we are breaking right at the top of the news today, top government sources telling India today that a CBI probe will now be ordered into the Manipur gang rape horror, the viral video that has sparked off the entire debate on Manipur. Sources telling us that the centre will seek a Manipur trial in Assam instead. Sources saying the government's priority now is negotiations and normalcy in Manipur, and attempts are now being held to hold talks between Meitei and Kuki-Zomi communities, between their leaders and groups representing them. Informal talks at the moment, formal level talks have not begun. The Prime Minister reportedly monitoring the situation, the talks taking place under the Home Ministry's ambit. Joining me now is Rahul Kanwal with all the very latest. Rahul, can you tell us what exactly is the government's plan now for Manipur?
Rajdeep, there was a high-level government briefing this evening in the capital where the central message is that Home Minister Amit Shah at the highest levels is working the back-channel conversation with senior representatives of both the Kuki and the Meitei community in an effort to bring them on the negotiating table. There are those in both communities who think that the first effort should be to try and bring peace at this moment and end this current round of violence, and then the others who say that other demands like there being separate administrative areas for the Kuki community, for the Meitei community, should also be discussed at this moment. So efforts are on to try and bridge those differences and bring them on the negotiating table. Also, a sense given into the historic nature of this conflict, making the point that this is not a China conspiracy, this is not a Hindu-Christian clash, rather an ethnic strife which has many past instances going back several decades of similar clashes between different communities, and also making the point, Rajdeep, importantly, which will be important in the context of what happens in Parliament, that when there were clashes in 1993, when 750 plus people died, 350 villages at that time were uprooted, it was the Minister of State for Home Affairs who spoke on the behalf of the government in Parliament, and it was Rajesh Pilot as the MOS MHA who went to Imphal at that time. Government records apparently show he spent only 3 hours there, 2 at the airport doing some meetings and 1 hour at the Chief Minister's residence. The government seeking to make the point that Home Minister Amit Shah went there for 3 nights. Nityanand Rai, the Minister of State for Home Affairs, was there for 22 days, and therefore the government trying much more than in the past to try and be hands-on. And on the issue, Rajdeep, of the Prime Minister, the sense that there have been several days when he and the Home Minister have spoken more than 3 times in the day, speaking to the Home Secretary, speaking to officials in Manipur, whether he was in France or the United States or anywhere in India, and staying fully abreast of the situation. So far from being callous to what was happening, the Prime Minister, while he hasn't spoken much in public on this issue, but behind the scenes keeping a very close eye on what was going on. Rajdeep.
Rahul Kanwal, appreciate your joining us. Government saying that they are now looking for ways to bridge the divide, particularly between the Meiteis and the Kuki-Zomi community on the ground. Now, the fact is, at the moment, on the ground, the two communities are virtually barricaded away from each other. The truth is that they have their separate areas and their strongholds in the hills and the plains. India Today's reporter Ashutosh Mishra spent a night in the conflict zone in Manipur to tell you what life is in the conflict zone. Take a look.
While en route from the buffer zone towards the Kangpokpi, I see the footprints of the violence, and these 2 buses were burned down by the Kuki community on the Tuesday night. And as they say, this was in a retaliation of the action, as they accuse us, was by the Meitei community when they burned down the supply cylinders which was coming to the hilly areas for the Kuki community. And since those cylinder trucks were burned down, in retaliation, 1 bus which was going from the hilly area of this part of Manipur towards the valley where the Meiteis are living, they burned down these vehicles. Though what I'm told that there were no civilians on board in this bus and the drivers were allowed to go safely with the armed forces, but this explains the furious situation and the mortal enmity between the two communities who have been living together for decades in Manipur.
News channel
Come. मंगपू आप क्या करते हैं?
Yeah, I'm just a college student. I just
College student.
Yeah.
Okay. क्या पढ़ते थे आप?
BSW.
BSW. What is that?
Bachelor of Social Work.
Social work. And how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
22 years. Your parents are not afraid that the son who was supposed to go to the college has picked up gun?
Yeah, we can say it, but then like according to the situations, like parents, this type of parents, they might be scared, but
Are you not afraid of your life?
forget about being scared or being afraid, or we are forced to stay here. This is the main thing.
I barely can see anything right behind me, but all I'm entering now is a bunker made in this remote places of this district. I cannot name this village, and I'm advised by these villagers, but here do you see the bunkers? Number of these people from the Kuki community guarding their village right in front of the Meitei communities, and in this bunker all they have are these single double barrel gun that I'm see, whereas the allegations against them have been that they fire from the automatic weapon, but all I see here is a single, what gun it is?
We call it cartouche.
Cartouche gun.
Yeah.
It's a single barrel gun.
Yes, sir.
Is it licensed?
Yeah, it's licensed.
So all they say is a licensed weapon, and of course the sophisticated binocular that I see here.
It's available in the market.
It's available in the market. It's an open market. Yeah. So this is to keep your eye on your counterpart, your enemy. Of course, a protective shield, and these number of personnels guarding their territory 24 hours. आपने ये नहीं देखा आपके गांव के कितने बच्चों ने हथियार उठा लिया है? आपको उनके भविष्य की चिंता नहीं होती फ्यूचर की कि वो आगे क्या करेंगे?
वो जो है मालूम नहीं है इसे तक, लेकिन हमरा मालूम है हमरा गांव का बच्चा लोग और गांव लोग का हम लोग का तकलीफ ये है।
आपको कब लगता है सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा? उम्मीद है सब ठीक हो जाएगा?
हाँ, गवर्नमेंट अच्छा से एडजस्ट करने से तो हम लोग के लिए भी सोचेगा, वो हम वही सुनने का ये इंतजारी है।
As you can see on the ground, people heavily armed, a lot of young people out there. You can catch that full report on our India Today website. But let's look at the politics that's taking place, because while on the ground Manipur remains on the edge, deadlock over Manipur in Parliament continues. The Prime Minister, meanwhile, is on the campaign trail virtually. He is in Rajasthan, a state that goes to the polls later this year. And as he hit the election trail, well, familiar rhetoric from the Prime Minister. He attacked the so-called India alliance, claiming it's time to quit India. While the India alliance leaders are wearing black clothes in protest in Parliament, the Prime Minister says that this group should quit India on issues like corruption and dynasty politics. Take a look.
It is Modi versus opposition alliance India in Parliament, and on the election trail as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a rally in Sikar, where he kicked off his campaign for the Rajasthan Assembly polls, used much of his speech to discredit the newly forged alliance.
जैसे गांधी जी ने क्विट इंडिया का मंत्र दिया था, वैसे ही आज का मंत्र है भ्रष्टाचार क्विट इंडिया, परिवारवाद क्विट इंडिया, तुष्टीकरण क्विट इंडिया। क्विट इंडिया ही देश को बचाएगा और देश को विकसित भारत बनाएगा। पहले कोई प्रधानमंत्री आए।
Modi claimed the UPA has taken its new name India to hide its past crimes.
यूपीए के नाम बदला है ताकि ये आतंकवाद के सामने घुटने टेकने का अपना पाप छिपा सके। यूपीए नाम बदला है ताकि ये गरीबों के साथ किए गए छल कपट को छिपा सके। अब राजस्थान की करवट भी बदलेगी।
Prime Minister also tore into the Ashok Gehlot government for the rising crimes against women in the state.
किस्मत भी बदलेगी। छोटी छोटी बच्चियां, स्कूलों में पढ़ाने वाली टीचर तक यहां सुरक्षित नहीं है। हर राजस्थानी का एक ही संकल्प है, बहन बेटियों पर अत्याचार नहीं सहेगा राजस्थान।
While Modi hit the election trail, the opposition stuck to its key demand in Parliament. The Prime Minister must speak on Manipur in the House.
जब आप राजस्थान में जा सकते हो, यहाँ पर पार्लियामेंट छोड़ के, क्या यहाँ आधा घंटा आके आप अपना स्टेटमेंट देकर जा नहीं सकते? It means that he has no interest, he has no faith in democracy, and he don't want to protect democracy and constitution.
कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, now barred from Parliament after conviction in a defamation case, released a video questioning the Prime Minister.
उनको मणिपुर से कोई लेना देना नहीं। वो जानते हैं कि उनकी विचारधारा ने मणिपुर को जलाया है। जो महिलाओं को चोट पहुंची है, उससे नरेंद्र मोदी जी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
Parliament in a limbo. Prime Minister on the election trail.
इसी धरती ने हमें
The battle lines are being drawn for 2024, and it is Modi versus opposition alliance, India. Bureau Report, India Today.
Time for our political face-off tonight. Silent on Manipur, attacks on Rajasthan. Is this whataboutery or is this accountability? Quit India, is this going to be the new election slogan? Is the Prime Minister setting the terms now for the 2024 duel? Will the war of words now get only more bitter in the months ahead? Shehzad Poonawalla, the BJP spokesperson, and Shama Mohammed, Congress spokesperson, are both in the studio. So, both of you, you have a finite amount of time, no cross-talk. First to you, Shama Mohammed. The opposition seems to be at the moment focusing its attention on Parliament, the Prime Minister has hit the streets and saying this opposition India alliance, according to him, is an alliance which he says is opportunistic, will fail as it failed in 2019. Your response?
Rajdeep, one of the most important things after 2014, what I have seen, in every democracy what we need to see is there is no accountability. Now, for instance, you saw how Boris Johnson resigned because of some COVID party. You know, this is how serious in the democracy you question the Prime Minister, you question the leaders. Here, you can't question. We want answers for Manipur. Now, why is he talking this? Why is he going to Rajasthan and doing this? Because media channels will put out the story that he is attacked, quit India, all these sort of things.
There's an election in Rajasthan in a few months.
That's what I'm trying to say. So what is most imperative at this point is Manipur. Now, give me a few seconds. In Manipur, today, I have come to the studio. Why? I want to talk as a mother. I want to talk as a woman. I am pained to see what is happening to the women of Manipur, the daughters of Manipur, which the Pradhan Mantri always says, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. I mean, one of the instances which he's talking about is one. There are 1,000 such FIRs, Biren Singh said. 1,000. He said, what can I do? And then what he does is...
He said hundreds of such cases are there.
Yeah, and then what he does is he was more worried. He says, I've put out a helpline number that videos of such nature should not be spread. Anybody can call on this number. So he's much more worried about the videos. And two more things. In what I saw is when the women were being paraded, one of the women was a wife of a decorated Kargil soldier. And you know what he said? I've been on the front line of Kargil, one of the worst battles I've fought. But this battle is worse than that because his wife, you know, was there, being paraded naked, touched and molested by men. And my question today is, and the other one is a decorated soldier's wife who was burned alive. Her son said, can the PM speak? So what I see is when a Balakot happens, when we win something, the Prime Minister stands next to these soldiers, very proud and very happy. So is this a Prime Minister who's there only for winners? Why is he not consoling the soldiers now when they want his hands? Okay. Why is he not consoling the women? I feel for them. Rahul Gandhi fell for them and he went there.
Okay.
Why is he not just going? You know, here it's not a battle between BJP, it's not a battle between Congress, it's about my country. I don't want to see this.
I will come to the reality of the battle.
I don't want to see this.
Okay, you're saying the Prime Minister must speak up in the interest of the
soldiers. Why is a soldier there? You know, pictures.
But equal why
time. Not when there
You've had your
upset?
time. No,
hold their hands. Pradhan Mantri, where are you?
Okay.
Narendra Modi.
Shahzad Poonawala, respond.
I hope that as a son of a single mother, I will be shown the same courtesy that I extended to Shama Mohammed ji and to her sentiments. And Rajdeep, I hope you will also allow me a full statement like you allowed Shama, because I know you are a fair journalist. Shama, as a mother, as a daughter, as a child, these are women, two Adivasi women, being stripped naked in Malda, touched, groped, and done everything that should not be done. Yes. And then, instead of taking action, the TMC minister, by the way, Mamata Banerjee, you know somebody closely, said that this was a fake incident. And Shashi Panja said that, look, jitna kapda nikla, wo kapda nikal gaya. As a woman, not as a Congress spokesperson, I know Shama will not divide the women of this country across state lines. In fact, her leader has said it is a union of states. So union of states means Union of Bengal, Union of Rajasthan, Union of Punjab, Union of Chhattisgarh. All the women of the country have to be spoken about. Union of states, said by Rahul Gandhi and Congress party. And they have named themselves also I.N.D.I.A. So that means entire India, according to them, is being considered. I am very happy that she has spoken about accountability. I want to ask her that when in the Assembly of Rajasthan, one second, Rajdeep, I know you are tempted. When the minister of Rajasthan government and no other state government, the own minister stands in their own assembly and says that our women are unsafe, and Mr. Ashok Gehlot, who is on record to say 50% rape cases are fake, Shanti Dhariwal is on record to say mardon ka pradesh hai, rape hota hoga, they are in cabinet, but Mr. Guda is immediately thrown out. This is accountability. Thirdly, I'm glad she spoke about Kargil. Yesterday, 26th was Kargil Vijay Divas. Rajdeep, you would know, 2004 to 2009, Kargil Vijay Divas, the commemoration had been stopped by UPA. It was Rajiv Chandrasekhar who restarted it. But I want to now come to Manipur because I need to answer a few questions and I want to raise some relevant points on Manipur. On Manipur, Rajdeep, and today we are having a sensitive discussion. Is the entire violence that has taken place in Manipur creation of Mr. Modi and after 2014? I agree, you'll agree, no? There were 4,000 cases that were taking place at one point of time. Today it's down to 1,600. There should be 0 cases. There were 772 civilian casualties that took place. Today there are 120, 130 odd. There should be 0. But I want to ask a question. When the longest Bandh in Manipur took place in 2011-12, Okram Ibobi Singh and Manmohan Singh ji, can she show me the statement of Manmohan Singh ji inside the House of Parliament on this issue? Can she tell me the statement when in 93 or in other years Manipur was burning? Today Northeast, of course there were so many issues that were pending. Who signed the Bruriang Accord? Who signed the Assam Meghalaya Dispute Accord? Who signed the Bodo Accord? I agree, today also issues are there. And I tell you Rajdeep, just one difference between them and us. It is not about whataboutery. The difference is this, that when we take action, we will take action on everybody. We will go and find those people from hell and we will take action on them. And whoever's delayed action, we will take action. Here is Divya Maderna. Mr. Rohit Joshi, who's the son of Mahesh Joshi, the FIR was not filed against him for a rape case. Divya Maderna. Is there any other state government where women are being talked about by their own ministers and MLAs? And
NCRB data shows that when it comes to crimes against women, Rajasthan does rank high, but charge sheets are speedily filed. Are you really? 1 minute, ma'am. Are you seriously on this show today, Shehzad Poonawala, comparing what's happened in Manipur over the last 2 months with Rajasthan, with other states? Isn't that whataboutery? Every woman, of course, deserves justice. But are you seriously comparing ethnic violence of the kind that's taken place in Manipur with what we are seeing in Rajasthan? Because if you look at NCRB data, UP, which is the country's most populous state, has the maximum crimes against women. Let's be very clear. Do not compare crimes against women between one state and the other.
May I take your question?
Yeah, very quickly, and then I'll go to
I agree. Very good. Please tell me, you quoted the charge sheet filing rate in Rajasthan,
yes,
correct? That is because 50% of the rape cases are struck off as fake. Does a woman lie about being raped? Rajdeep, I want to ask you. You are the father of a daughter. You have sisters and wife. Tell me, does woman lie about rape? This can you read? No, 1 second. Rajdeep, do not. Rajdeep, I am asking you, and it is a sensitive debate, Rajdeep. Please go by this. NCRB data comes by if the chief minister says 50% of cases are fake.
How does that excuse what's happened in Manipur? That's my
Did I say it's an excuse for that? This is the answer to the charge sheet.
Point.
Now on the Manipur issue.
They are raising the point. Why is the Prime Minister silent on Manipur? Please answer my straight question. Their argument continuously in Parliament outside is why is the Prime Minister silent on Manipur? Okay. And then I'll come to you.
May I answer this question?
Yes, please.
The Prime Minister, she will tell me, of course, when Manipur, it was burning for longest time when Manmohan Singh ji spoke, but they demanded discussion under which rule? 267, correct? This is rule 267, I submit to you. Please tell me where 267 allows government functionary, Prime Minister or Home Minister to make first statement. I have worked in Parliament, therefore I am telling you. Secondly, in all party meeting we said let's have discussion on Manipur, video had not come. They said okay. Business Advisory Council, we divided the rules, we discussed the rules, they were okay with it, then they started doing hangama in Parliament and over rules they fought, not for the charcha. And then now they have bought what? No confidence motion. And imagine that dual stand. In Lok Sabha, no confidence motion against the government, and in Rajya Sabha, 267 charcha with the government. 1 second. And you show me where 267 allows.
You bring a low confidence in Lok Sabha, not in the Rajya Sabha. No, 1 minute. Now, 1 minute. Now, can I just come to Shama Mohammed for a moment?
But I did not say that you can. Shama Mohammed,
let's be very clear. The fact is, the Home Minister of the country is in charge of law and order. That is, i.e. Amit Shah. Mr. Amit Shah has gone on record in Parliament to say, I am ready for a full discussion to take all your questions. Why is the opposition reluctant to take its questions to Amit Shah? Is it that only when the Prime Minister comes into the House and speaks that the situation in Manipur will be resolved? Are we saying that the Home Minister speaking out on the issue, addressing all your concerns, all the questions you have, will not address Manipur's problem? It seems as if this is not about Manipur, it's about Prime Minister Modi. Am I right or wrong?
First and foremost, Amit Shah should be also resigning at this point of time.
Resigning?
He should resign as the Home Minister. He has failed the Northeast. And
did Home Ministers resign when the Northeast was, when the same Manipur was burning in 2011-12? No, 1 minute. No, you are saying the Home Minister must resign. Then all the Congress Home Ministers should have resigned.
Can I finish? Yes. Biren Singh why is the Biren Singh government continuing? Let me give you examples. Now, he spoke about what the minister or MLA said in the assembly.
In Rajasthan.
In Rajasthan. And let me tell you what Howkip said. He is a present MLA there. He said that if Biren Singh will reign in the Meitei militias, then something will happen. Then he said PM responded only because the video went viral. That is not my MP, that is the BJP MLA talking from Manipur. Then he said the proof of state complicity can clearly be discerned from the fact that what started out as a purely ethnic communal violence was later on attempted to be portrayed by the chief minister of the state war as narco-terrorism. The narrative seemed to be aimed at justifying the use of state forces. So he's clearly saying what Biren Singh is the one who is the culprit here. One. Number two, he talked about how again about the rapes happening and how it is happening in Rajasthan. Let me ask him, did the Chief Justice of India call the Attorney General and the Solicitor General to talk about Rajasthan? What did the Chief Justice Chandrachud say? I need a reply by the 28th. Did they? No, they did not. Then he speaks about what has happened. What happened after Hathras? What did the Chief Minister say? Ye antarashtra shadyantra hai. It's a foreign conspiracy. He was talking about rapes happening. So what I'm trying to say, Rajdeep, and when all those horrible rapes happened in Haryana, you remember a rod was inserted inside the vagina. The Chief Minister at that point said women should not be walking naked. So let's not compare all these things. What I'm trying to say today is that you have a CM which has, people of Manipur have lost faith. The MLAs have lost. My simple question is, why is there no accountability? Why is the Prime Minister of India asking him to step down?
No, before I go to Shah, you started by saying Home Minister should resign. I asked you, have Congress Home Ministers resigned in the past when there have been ethnic violence in Manipur?
Forget ethnic
the
violence.
Fact is there,
No,
1 minute.
Let
then
me
you
say,
now,
2611.
1 minute.
Then
Now
the
you said
Home
the
Minister
Chief
resigned.
Minister must resign.
Yes.
Now you're saying the Chief Minister must resign. What is the demand? Is it the Chief Minister resign?
No,
is it Home Minister resign? Is it Prime Minister must speak in Parliament?
Prime Minister must speak in Parliament.
Why?
Because he has to be accountable. Why is he not dismissing the government of Biren Singh? You tell me that. Why is he not when there is such a huge...
Let Shehzad Poonawalla answer
they
that.
have said that the arms
he
have
must
been given.
answer now.
Why is he not dismissing the government?
He wants... the fact is, the Congress wants to know why is Biren Singh not being dismissed? Why is he continuing? 140 people have died under his watch. He's being accused of siding with one side.
And guns have been given to the Meiteis.
No, 1 minute, ma'am. Let him answer. Shehzad Poonawalla, why is Biren Singh being protected? What is it that Biren Singh has
and
so
also
special?
He talks about Rajasthan.
Ma'am, now he must answer.
Has Chief Justice asked Rajasthan anything? Because immediate action has been taken in Rajasthan. Who's
Just a
talking
minute,
about
ma'am.
it?
He must be allowed to answer.
Of course we feel about all the women,
Shama
but
Mohammed,
he must answer.
Let's get specific questions, specific answers. You have asked
you're
us,
always giving him more time.
He must have every right to answer. You've raised a question. Why has the Chief Minister not been asked to resign? Respond, Shehzad.
Rajdeep, there are 3 subparts in the questions asked.
Yes.
Please let me answer all 3, then you intervene.
Please.
Okay. First question, should PM speak? Right? Question number 1. Budget session, PM was replying to motion of President. Thanks. Sir, please look, sir. I'm showing you something.
I'm listening.
Please read. Opposition kept doing sloganeering, did not allow PM to speak. Do they want to listen to PM? 1. Now let me finish. Don't interrupt. Please do not interrupt, sir.
I will interrupt if you go off track, but please go ahead.
Second question, she said, let's have President rule in Manipur, sack Chief Minister.
Yes.
President rule means Prime Minister Modi's rule, central government rule, correct, as per Constitution. On the one hand, she is saying that Prime Minister and Home Minister are incompetent, and on the other hand, she is saying their rule should be there in Manipur.
One
second, Rajdeep, you are interrupting. Rajdeep, I have to complete my statement, then you complete.
No one is here to raise his voice.
Rajdeep,
Finish your statement.
You see the irony. प्रेसिडेंट रूल लगाओ मतलब मोदी जी अमित शाह जी का शासन लगाओ, बट अमित शाह जी का इस्तीफा भी चाहिए. मतलब कंफ्यूजन कितना है कांग्रेस में, ये इसकी कल्पना आप नहीं कर सकते.
You have not answered the question. Why is it that the government is protecting?
I want to answer that.
1 minute, ma'am. Why is the government going out of its way to protect the Chief Minister who is being accused of playing a partisan role, which has resulted in more than 140 people being killed, including your own BJP MLA was assaulted grievously, who I interviewed earlier this week, in the heart of Imphal. Now, surely someone is accountable. Who, according to you, Shehzad Poonawalla, is accountable for what is happening in Manipur? I want a straight answer.
Can it be longer than your question?
Please.
Same as your question? Thank you. You have referred to the statement of the MLA that you had met, and she has also referred to MLA statement, Hayukip. But you have not referred to Rajendra Guda, who was a minister, or Divya Maderna, but that's okay. These standards can change. But I want to ask you very simply, Rajdeep ji, that you have said that they should take resignation of Mr. Biren Singh. Can you tell me when the longest Bandh in Manipur took place? 120 days? Okram Ibobi Singh? Who resigned in their government? And did Rajdeep, who was very vocal in journalism, that time I think in print or maybe in electronics, CNN, IBN at that time. CNN, IBN used to run, you were the boss of that channel, not just consulting editor. At that time, how many resignations you demanded of Okram Ibobi Singh? Ab dikha do ek bar. And Mamta Banerjee says Malda is fake. And Rajasthan Chief Minister says 50% rape cases are fake. If we are doing this for resignation for women's safety, then why not them? Why Rajdeep is only asking? You will answer it. Now, let me expose the biggest hypocrisy of you all. You are against fake news, sir. Your channel has a fake news division also. They bust fake news. Kirti Azad tweeted this at 3:30. All right. This picture and this video was tweeted where he said, Manipur mein napunsak jahil gawaron ki amanviya harkat. This video was busted as a fake video of Myanmar.
That's right.
And he tweeted it. I want to know, Rajdeep Sardesai, one tweet if you have done against Kirti Azad for spreading fake news at such a time. At such a time.
I am not in the dock here. Political parties, you can raise.
You are supporter of fake news? Are you supporter of fake news?
There are enough fake news videos which the BJP's IT cell has been exposed with.
Is that compared? Who's what about me now?
It's for
Amit Malviya ko abhi aap gher rahe ho is pe. I mean, what about professor hua?
No raising
You are professor of what about it? Rajdeep Nartis, you have lobbed it at me. You have lobbed it at me. 1 second. Shama, 1 second. You have lobbed it at me. Please have the courage to take the answer. 1 second.
Kirti Azad has to answer.
1 second, sir.
Why should Rajdeep Sardesai answer for Kirti Azad?
I'm not making answer. Don't be so defensive.
Why should I answer for Kirti Azad, for God's sake?
Kirti Azad is not here.
Why are you allowing this? Let me answer. I'm having a conversation.
But I want the volume
conversation with you.
Yeah.
I am talking to you that just now I have said in this critical time when situation is becoming better, even one statement by especially those who are in responsible positions can light fire. He has made this tweet. You are comparing it whataboutery karke with some tweet that some IT cell walas have done? Who's doing whataboutery right now?
Sir,
Rajdeep, this is whataboutery. And 1 second. I'm not holding you to
I am not here to defend Kirti Azad. I must
Rajdeep,
no.
I want to appreciate you. Can I appreciate you for 1 second?
I can't do such a
Rajdeep, 1
debate,
second. Please.
I mean, this is very high
Rajdeep, I
volume,
as a person
ill-mannered.
also have great respect for you. I'm not putting you in the dock. Please don't take it in that way. This is not a fight against each other. I'm just saying that this is happening and therefore they must examine their politics. Okay. That's all, sir.
That's, Shama Mohammed, here's the thing. Manipur has an unfortunate history in this country of ethnic violence. It's taken place when Congress has been in power. Why is the Congress determined to ensure, I come back to it, that only the Prime Minister of the country answering inside Parliament is going to resolve what is an extremely complex issue? Is this about let's get Modi?
No.
Let's get Modi. Forget about what happens in Manipur. Let's use Manipur to target the Prime Minister with an election coming up in less than 12 months.
No, you have to understand one thing. The Prime Minister has not even visited. At least a statement, Rajdeep, when so many women, the men, they have lost their mothers. You know how many people have been displaced? More than 1 lakh. And you know that Ranjan Singh, their own Minister of State, his house burned down. He said what? Law and order is completely broken down there. Another MLA, her house a lot of people's houses have been just burned down. What I'm trying to say is that some sort of sensitivity a person, not a single statement before the video came out. He can call up whenever there is issue around the world, whenever the Black Life Matters issue was happening in America. The Prime Minister or the President there comes out and says, my dear people, please stop this. I want calm. That's all we are asking. He doesn't say a word. Number two, he spoke about...
So you want the Prime Minister to make one statement in Parliament calling for calm, and that's enough for you?
Wait a minute. Let me finish, Rajdeep. This is not done. He spoke about the Ibobi Singh time. What my question is, how many MLAs of Ibobi Singh went to the PMO or went to meet the Prime Minister and say, we have lost faith in this government at that point of time? Number two, when there's a president's rule, he asked me that, oh, indirectly it's the center. Of course, that's how our constitution says. I mean, we have to go according. They don't believe in the constitution. You dismiss the government and then you have a re-election. You have an election happening. They don't want an election there because there are very few states they're completely in power there. One is Tripura, the other one is Assam, and the third one is Manipur. So they do not want to let go. That's the thing. Holding on to power because they don't want to let go of the state. That is the reason. And one last thing is that at this point of time, if the Prime Minister always says in 2014, what does he say? We are a party with a difference. Haven't you heard that? If you are a party with a difference, I don't understand why the BJP spokespersons always go back, always keep comparing. Show that you're a party with a difference, you're doing something different. And healing, the healing touch, you know the divide which has happened there, Rajdeep? You saw the video before. It is not only that, the Christian community has lost faith in the Bharatiya Janata Party. I am from Kerala, they've lost faith. More than 260 churches burned down. So what is happening? The cookies and the metis, the divide which has come, the way the women are asking the men to rape, also there. What is happening? What I'm asking you is, it's terrible, guns.
Let's be very careful of the words we use. These are sensitive times. However, Shehzad Poonawalla, sensitive times call for...
But he should not shout,
Just
please.
a minute.
I'm terrified to sit
just
here.
a minute. Sensitive times call for sensitivity and empathy.
Yes. Where is the empathy from the Prime Minister?
One of the things seemingly, according to the opposition, that's missing is empathy from the Prime Minister to what's happened. He goes to Rajasthan, what does he do? He starts talking about quit India. The word India seems to have affected him so much that he seems to now say the opposition is has to quit India. Should the Prime Minister be showing more empathy, more sensitivity to what has been happening in Manipur? Because otherwise he will tweet on any other subject, but he has resolutely refused to tweet even a line to suggest that there should be empathy shown to those who've lost their lives or those who are in relief camps. Could that not have been possible, Shehzad Poonawalla? One minute, ma'am. Why not accept at times that maybe you misread the situation? Maybe you thought it would get over sooner. It's gone on for 2 months. Now's the time for a bit of empathy. Where is the healing touch, Shehzad?
Shehzad, what is he
Just
going
a
to tell
minute, ma'am.
80-year-old soldier.
Are you allowing this,
son,
Rajdeep, after
who's
your
been burned
long
alive,
lecture?
A freedom fighter.
This is how you conduct a fair debate? You said 60 minutes equally apportioned.
Shama Mohammed, you're taking advantage now. The question is to him. Go ahead, Shehzad.
I will start with your last point where you said opposition ko bola quit India. He said Bhrashtachar should quit India, dynasty should quit India. But if Rajdeep thought it means opposition should quit India, then you have made a commentary on the opposition.
What is the Bhrashtachar?
Now, can I please, Rajdeep, is this the debate you want to conduct?
No, 1 minute.
Is this the debate you want to conduct?
Let him answer. Go ahead.
Is this the debate, Rajdeep? Is this the debate you want to conduct?
Let the audience hear both sides.
She spoke for a long time.
Yeah, go ahead now.
It is my
no,
chance.
it's not long. You've also spoken for long. Go ahead.
It is my.
Did I interrupt?
Did I interrupt?
Please go ahead.
You were shouting at the anchor. My God, I got terrified.
I'll have to stop. If you could, please carry on.
Thank you. Now she said that it is not about Modi, but she used the word, and I don't know why you didn't register it. She said that, oh, jaldi elections hona chahiye wahan pe. She said elections.
After the suspension of the dismissal,
this is let me complete.
She said there should be presidential followed by elections.
No, both of y'all are not allowing me to complete.
Just a minute, ma'am.
Rajdeep, I heard her completely. Every 10 seconds she is breaking my flow.
No interference.
Rajdeep,
I will now. The viewer is not gaining from this.
It is my turn to speak, and Rajdeep, as a fair anchor, I would request
Shehzad Poonawalla, come to the
45 seconds.
I asked you about empathy.
Where is the empathy? But it is my time to speak. I heard her completely.
No, I want to hear from you. Where is the empathy?
I am coming. Is it empathetic to talk about elections at this point of time? Is that your empathy? Now,
dismiss the government.
Rajdeep, this is unfair.
No, ma'am.
Rajdeep, are you unable to control?
Just a minute.
Rajdeep, are you unable to control?
Let's not have these things. I'm asking you a straight question.
So I am saying give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, uninterrupted.
30 seconds uninterrupted.
Listen to him and then I'll come to you.
Thank you, sir. I bow down to your fairness.
Thank you.
Thank you. She said about empathy. There was an all-party meeting in Delhi. It was attended by JP Nadda. Can she tell me where Mr. Khadge was? And let me complete. If the barometer of empathy is that the Prime Minister should speak, I had asked her in the last segment, show me when Manmohan Singh spoke in Ibobi Singh's case. Is that the barometer of empathy? Or having elections at this point of time, that is in her mind. That is a barometer of empathy. But let me tell you one more thing. Rajdeep, and I must tell you this. This happened 3 years ago when a Dalit woman was stripped naked, raped in front of her husband, and the police was doing case mein hera feri so that the aparadhi could be saved in Rajasthan. Show me one statement of Rahul Gandhi, the most empathetic human being, or Ashok Gehlot. Ashok Gehlot, by the way, came out and said 50% rape cases are fake. So, dear Rajdeep, if the standards of empathy have to be set at 9 p.m. on Rajdeep's show, yes, they have to be. But we are a party with a difference, but they are an indifferent party.
One minute. One minute, ma'am. What is your answer, though, to the fact that the Prime Minister has chosen for the last 80 days, barring one statement outside Parliament, to in public fora resolutely speak on every issue but Manipur? What is the reason for that? Is it embarrassing?
Rajdeep, you know, there are times when leaders are seen not just by their statements but by their actions. And Rajdeep, if you are going to reduce an ethnic conflict that perhaps has a history of 100 years in the last 80 days, why don't you see what last 9 years Modi has done? Are you acknowledging or no that last 9 years we have solved lot of the infiltration, lot of the insurgency, lot of the terror incidents, lot of the civilian violence that has taken place? Are you not accepting that? What was bomb, blast and burn during every election cycle has now become about democracy, decentralization and development. Double the number of airports, double the number of projects. Yes, this has happened. And
Let me therefore, no, your time is up now. Let me turn to that because that's an important point. This is a Prime Minister Modi, who's visited the Northeast more than any other Indian Prime Minister. Just a minute, brother. I know, Shehzad Punala, allow me to ask Shama Mohammed. Shama Mohammed, therefore, you've used what started off, sparked off. There are a variety of reasons for that, including a court order, including a drive against encroachments by the Chief Minister of the state, all of which have culminated sadly in the collapse of law and order in the state. Are you going to use all of that to essentially suggest that Prime Minister Modi, I heard Rahul Gandhi today virtually suggesting that Manipur has been created by the Modi government? Is that, do you believe that is, do you have any evidence to back something like that? You could claim that the government has failed in Manipur to control law and order. But to go from that to make a leap of faith and say the Prime Minister and Hindutva politics is responsible for what's happening in Manipur?
Definitely. Let me tell you one thing, Rajdeep. He spoke about the Ibobi sing time.
So all the work that the Prime Minister has done in the Northeast counts for nothing?
That's the Gujarat model going there. Let me tell you that. You know, what I'm trying to say over here, there's a huge ethnic divide. We know that the land areas are different for the Meiteis and different. The population of the Meiteis are much more. They hold less number of land. The Kukis have much more land. Their population is less. So, of course, there's a huge ethnic divide. The Prime Minister, like I said, when we win, when there are good things, he speaks. Brij Bhushan Charan Singh, he talked about Rajasthan. Those, can you imagine, Olympic medalists are begging for justice on the streets. Did he speak a word? No. Everybody from foreign countries have spoken. And on the Manipur issue, you have a resolution passed by the European Union. You have the US Congress speaking
European
about
Parliament.
European Parliament. You don't have those, when you always talk about our time. We never seen this sort of thing. What I'm saying is that you spoke about empathy. Manmohan Singh was there along with Sonia Gandhi ji to receive Nirbhaya. Let's understand that when she came, when her body, was brought to Delhi. When that issue happened, they called people to their house and said, how do we solve this? Immediately we got the Nirbhaya Act. So many things we did, Rajdeep. What I'm trying to say, here is a Prime Minister without empathy, without accountability. There is no accountability.
You're saying lack of empathy, lack of accountability.
I want to ask him one last thing, is why is he not talking to these army? Our army Jawans are asking the Prime Minister, why is he always with us when we win medals, when we do well?
You've said that now for the fifth time. Shama Mohammed, that's it.
He doesn't answer. He doesn't answer the imperative questions.
Okay.
And he said,
Producer,
any democracy, there is president's rule and elections come after it. I didn't say elections should be there.
Okay. I will now give you 30 seconds in all fairness. And Shama Mohammed not to intervene. No, 1 minute. I have limited time. I will ask you on this very simple question. The terms of engagement in an election year, are they to be revolving around issues in your view like Manipur? Is the Prime Minister willing to face those issues square on? Or does he want to, as he suggested in Rajasthan today, focus on the frailties of the opposition, which in any case has not been in power for the last 9 years? Is 2024 about Prime Minister Modi's record, or is it about what the opposition didn't or didn't do when they were in power? A quick final answer.
I will take your question in the next 15 seconds. Yes. The first 15 seconds, I'll answer her question. She spoke about Nirbhaya. I did not bring Nirbhaya up. She said we are sensitive. Sheila Dikshit. Nirbhaya case was blown out of proportion. Pretty sensitive, I would say, Rajdeep. Anyways. Then, again, Rajdeep, you are not protecting my time.
She must be.
You are not protecting my time.
Yeah,
this is absolutely unfair and it is raising question marks now.
Please go ahead.
She spoke about Brij Bhushan. The case has taken place, charge sheet has taken place. Chinmaya Shripada ka naam suna hai?
Delhi police did not
Rajdeep, you conduct the debate. You conduct the debate. You conduct the debate like this.
What is going on?
Delhi police did not oppose
it was my time. You ensure it.
Delhi police did not oppose the bail of Brij Bhushan Singh.
This is Rajdeep. Your fairness is at risk. I'm asking your fairness is at risk.
Tell me why did they oppose the bail?
Your fairness is at test.
No, you're being unfair today.
Rajdeep, your fairness is at
You're
test.
misusing the privilege of being in the studio.
Your fairness is at
Because whenever I'm there, I don't get the time.
Yeah, so now,
speak to him.
give him
You ask him, no, why Delhi police did not oppose
I
him.
have to move on the program. If you're not going to allow him to speak, it's only fair. He's been asked a question. Is 2024 about Prime Minister Modi's record or is it about the opposition's
First,
record?
I will answer the first 15 seconds. I will use for my question.
Please go ahead.
I have shown the Nirbhaya statement of Mr. Sheila Dikshit. They have not answered.
You've answered about Chandrachud.
Just a minute, ma'am.
Why has he summoned the Attorney
Rajdeep,
General?
if this was why you called her to
This
the
is very
studio.
unfair. You're being extremely unfair and you're smiling while doing it. It's not fair. Please allow him to speak. It's
And
unfair.
this shows their empathy.
Yes.
And Rajdeep, I think...
Go ahead, please. And finish it in a
30
minute.
seconds.
Yes.
30 seconds. She spoke about Brij Bhushan. The case has been filed, charge sheet has been filed. Chinmaya Shripada and 17 other women were harassed and molested by Vaira Muthu, who's being felicitated by DMK Chief Minister, where they have a government together, and not a single FIR till date. You have also run the story. You know the story? Yes or no? Thirdly, let's come to your question. By the way, she has supported the EU parliamentarians' intervention in our matter. So how much they want India and how much they want intervention is another thing. But anyway, she celebrated it.
Let him finish.
I am lying or not lying. Rajdeep, you will judge or she will judge.
Okay. The viewers
and now
will judge.
last, I am taking your question. Rajdeep, in the last 9 years, I am saying with absolute pride that 8,000 incidents used to take place of violence. It is down to less than 78% down. The civilian deaths is down by 70%. The data on terrorism and data on all these kinds of incidents is down by 50%. In the northeast, when elections used to take place, Rajdeep used to cover it as a cub reporter. It used to be about Bandh ya blast. Now we had Tripura election. We also before this had Assam election. We had election in other parts of the northeast. Not a single bullet was fired. This is not achievement.
Rajdeep, I can come
The
and lie
number
on
of
television.
one second,
I can come and lie on television.
Rajdeep,
You can pick up his lie later. Let him finish.
It's a lie.
Rajdeep, when was the Bodo Accord conceived and when was it signed? Bru Riang Accord signed.
You see, this
One
is part of
second,
the
Assam,
problem.
Meghalaya.
This is part of the problem.
Baba,
No, Shehzad,
it's a
I've
part
heard
of
you
the
now
problem.
both. Since
I
you
have
called
given
me
you
a
my track
cub
record.
No.
I have given you my track
The
record.
Mizo Accord was signed when Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister of the country.
He doesn't
There
know
have
any
been,
of
no,
that.
1 minute. There have been other accords which have been signed when Vajpayee ji was there.
If the Mizo Accord was signed, 1 second.
One
You are
minute,
saying
one
Mizo
minute.
Accord.
One
No,
minute.
1 second.
The Assam Accord was also signed
1
when
second, Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, I will ask you a question now.
speak to
When
you,
was
Rajdeep.
AFSPA removed
My
from most
God.
parts of the northeast?
Good point.
When was removed? When was it removed? You tell me if these accords were signed, why wasn't AFSPA removed?
1 minute.
Mr. Rajdeep, you are forcing me to raise my voice because you are allowing her to
Kashmir?
interrupt. We
Why
are
don't
having
we
an
have
adult
the
conversation.
Kashmir
She is
also
behaving
now?
immaturely, smiling while interrupting,
Of
and you have
course, why
allowed
not?
this kind of behavior
No,
by
Rajdeep,
Congress.
he's
This is
shouting
what
at
they do
you.
in Parliament.
He's
This is
shouting
exactly
at
what
you,
they've done in
Rajdeep.
Parliament.
He's shouting at you and you keep
I
quiet.
have
you
no
answer?
problem.
I'm sorry.
You must understand, I'll tell both of you. I have
Don't
been,
tell both of you, you know who has
No,
behaved
no,
like a child.
I have been doing this for years, so I am okay with people shouting at me. I have absolutely
Rajdeep,
no
I have
problem.
not. I have told
but
you
I
first.
just want to say this, that let's be honest, the Northeast has been a turbulent region.
And now?
The Prime
It is
Minister
a,
not
has
improved.
it
no
remains
empathy.
a complex
The Prime
region.
Minister
It has not
has
improved in
in
the
an
last 9
ideal
years.
world, in an ideal world, as I maintain, I would have liked to see an all-party delegation, Congress as well as the BJP going there.
But they're
I would
not-
have liked to
that's
see
what they're not
an
doing.
attempt made in Parliament for a bipartisan consensus, which sadly is missing. And I see the same polarization in Parliament. I see it in the television
Rajdeep, can I
studios.
ask only one line? Just
Of course
one line.
you can.
Rajdeep, just one line. Rajdeep, tell me, when was the last time before 2023 you heard of riots, ethnic violence and bomb blasts in the last 9 years in this entire government, in Northeast? And tell me the number of times you heard it between 2004 and 14. And be
Tell me
honest,
how many times
I think your
you have heard
silence is
army
saying
areas,
much more.
Army areas
You're
being
saying-
bombed, army camps. What has
Let's-
happened to?
let's be
go
very
about
clear.
Army camps have been
Uri,
bombed. What is
Pathankot,
this?
So basically
everything.
you're saying, I think at the end of the day you're saying, judge us from what Prime Minister Modi has or has not achieved in the Northeast after 2014. You're saying
There's no accountability.
there's no accountability.
No accountability
There's
after
no
2014.
accountability at
And
all,
Prime
and the
Minister
lack of
Modi is
empathy.
mourned.
Okay.
Lack of empathy,
Okay.
mourned. He should speak.
Shama Mohammed and
Thank you, Raj.
Shehzad Poonawala. Today's good news, today's story. There's always good news in this wonderful country. Comes from Uttar Pradesh's Lucknow, where a music workshop is giving a new life to India's folk percussion instrument, the dholak. Among the participants are senior citizens, a proof that age doesn't matter when it comes to music and learning. It's my good news today's story. You stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Dholak, a popular percussion instrument in villages. While the dholak is easily available and simple to perform, there is hardly any formal training. In an innovative attempt to revive the beats of dholak, the Sangeet Natak Academy organized a workshop in Lucknow.
अभी बॉम्बे में इसकी बहुत सेवा की जा रही है ढोलक की, और बॉलीवुड में इसको अपनाया गया, लेकिन यहाँ पे जो होना चाहिए जिस तरीके से शिक्षण कार्य ढोलक का वो नहीं हो पा रहा है। ये बहुत अच्छी बात नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी कुछ प्राइवेट संस्थाएं हैं जो अपना ढोलक सिखाने का कार्य कर रही हैं। बिकॉज आकाशवाणी जो है वो ऑडिशन भी लेता है, बी ग्रेड भी, हाई ग्रेड, बट वो व्यवस्था सिखाने की कोई नहीं कर रहा है। इस पे काफ़ी लोगों को फोक वालों को ध्यान देना चाहिए।
Among the participants are senior citizens, a proof that age doesn't matter when it comes to learning.
मुझे बहुत बड़ा शौक संगीत से रहा है जीवन में, और आज भी है। आज भी मैं व्यायाम करता हूँ, 2 घंटा मैं व्यायाम करता हूँ। ढोलक करके सीख करके समाज की सेवा करना चाहता हूँ, और समाज के साथ जहाँ भी हमारी आवश्यकता पड़ी, धार्मिक कार्यों में, अन्य कार्यों में, हर जगह मैं जाने को उपस्थित हूँ। बस हमें आर्डर मिल जाए, मैं आदेश का पालन करूँगा।
The 25 days workshop is spreading awareness about India's most popular folk instruments.
जब ये कार्यशाला का पता चला तो पहले मेरी इच्छा नहीं हुई आने की, कि एक तो मैं दूर से आती हूँ कपूरथला से, तो एक दिन आए, 2 दिन आए, अच्छा नहीं लगा। लेकिन जैसे जैसे हम आते गए उसके बाद मेरा थोड़ा सा विचार बदला। मुझे शौक हमेशा से था कि ढोलक सीखें, क्योंकि घरेलू फंक्शन में बहुत अच्छा नहीं बजा पाते थे। जब एक्सपर्ट नहीं होते थे तब हमारी बारी आती थी।
The Sangeet Natak Academy workshop is giving dholak a new life. Bureau Report, India Today.